What's up, guys? Kara Corey here, back for another episode of Dietitian Talk. And this video tonight comes to you from one of our Kara Corey Fit Life community members, if you will. I was asked to do a talk on apple cider vinegar. So apple cider vinegar kind of is all the rage, and it's something that I think is more of like a holistic approach to the diet, to your health. That's something that would be considered more of like an integrative approach. So it's not something that they really like teach about in school to use to treat certain health conditions, if you will. So I did have to do a little bit of my own research to try to give a good talk for you guys and kind of summarize some of the claims that are out there, some of the substantiated evidence that's out there, and then give you my bottom line, which is what I tend to do in most of these dietitian talks. So I hope you guys take something away from it. And if you enjoy these videos, please go ahead right now, share the video right now, make sure you subscribe. If you are not subscribed already, it really helps me out. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get going. Apple cider vinegar is something that has been around for a very long time, probably like the 1800s. There's all different types of vinegar, but apple cider vinegar is kind of in a different field. It's kind of responds differently in the body than other vinegars. One of the main differences being that most vinegar is very acidic. When you look at it on the pH scale, apple cider vinegar is also acidic. However, when we start to metabolize apple cider vinegar, it actually is very alkaline in the body once we break it down and metabolize it. So for people that are like on the blood type diets, you know, who would think you shouldn't have apple cider vinegar, it's so acidic. Just because things are acidic to the taste doesn't necessarily mean it's acidic in our body, within ourselves. So it is a little bit different. Apple cider vinegar, I know you guys can't see it down there. I have some here because we do use it in the household. Well, I don't right now, I'm not good about it, but Jason is religious about using this right now. But apple cider vinegar is basically just fermented apples. One thing I want to say about apple cider vinegar is kind of like supplements. When I talk about supplements, is not all things are created equal. So not all supplement brands, products are created equal. The same is true when you're going out to the store to search for apple cider vinegar. So when you think about all the health claims that are out there, and the studies that have been done, you have to also kind of look at what they've been using to what type of apple cider vinegar they've been using in the study. So you want to buy something that has been not pasteurized or unpasteurized. So I use the example of Bragg's because I think it's the most widely known, easy to find. You want to get the raw, unfiltered, unpasteurized. So this is what I'm talking about in this video today. And with this, one of the substantiated claims that's in it is with the mother, which I actually never even realized before. I thought it was just kind of like a cutesy little thing, like, oh, it's with mother, it's with mom, that's sweet. No, the mother is actually like part of the main health benefit of this product. And I don't think if I tip this, you're going to be able to see it. You might be able to, but you're going to be able to see all these kind of like disgusting, I'm going to make it gross, right? And you're not going to want to drink it. All these disgusting little, they kind of look stringy. It's like an accumulation of little fermented fibers in there. That's kind of where a lot of your health benefits are derived from. That's not something that you're going to want to like just dump out and get rid of. That's where all the good stuff is. And essentially, that's where all your probiotics are. So since it's a fermented product, it's got that live active culture in there. So that's just a little bit about apple cider vinegar. Is make sure what you're buying is the right kind if you're looking to get any of the health claims that are discussed. So let's discuss some of the health claims. First one I'm going to discuss is digestion, because you heard me just mention the word probiotic. Even if you know nothing about probiotic, most people know by now it goes hand in hand with gut health. And that is one of the claims that's out there. And it's actually a claim I've made myself personally from taking it. You will find a lot of people make claims just based on their own personal experience, but there are some backed up studies to support the mother product that's in apple cider vinegar, and that it can actually assist with digestion by adding in that good gut bacteria. Now, what I want to say about that, which is kind of true of anything that has live active cultures in it, by the time you go to use it, by the time you purchase it, depending on how long it's been sitting on the shelf, depending on how long it sits in your home, you never really know how much is still live when you actually consume it. So, labs can do measurements on the live active cultures, what different strains are in there, and to what amount. But we can never be certain how much we're truly getting when we're consuming it. So it's kind of hard to say, but what I can say is it's not going to hurt, and it may help with digestion. Like I said, a lot of the information that I did see does support that it can help digestion. For myself, I did like taking that first thing in the morning. I did feel like it just kind of like got my digestion going for the day. I don't know, it kind of got things going in a healthy start. So that is one of the claims that's made that you do see research supported on. One of the other things that I think is the biggie that's discussed that I'm going to get asked about if I don't talk about it is what about weight loss? People ask, I think someone asked on the last video about fat burning. Does it help burn fat faster? Does it help with metabolism? And do you just essentially lose more weight on this product? I did want to reference a study I looked at from the journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. That is my professional organization. So they're kind of always my first go-to in case you're curious where I get these little informational tidbits that I spew out to you guys. I don't just go to Wikipedia. I actually don't use that. But I tend to go to them first and foremost to see what my organization is supporting and putting out into the world, because that's what I trust first and foremost. So one of the research studies they did was, is vinegar an effective treatment for glycemic control or weight loss? So that's another big claim, is glycemic control, and the thought of possibly using it with diabetics, or maybe you're someone that's trying to lose weight. If you think it's going to help with your glycemic load, essentially maybe that'll help you lose weight quicker. So this study kind of references the fact that in a nutshell, a lot of this still isn't, there's just not enough evidence, but what I took away from this study was there is some evidence there that they found between the different groups of people they were using this study, which it wasn't a huge study. So I just want to read from you some of the findings that they found from the study, because I can't memorize those. But they basically just kind of did a review, a meta-analysis, if you will, of the different research that was out there regarding effective treatment, if it's an effective treatment for glycemic control and for weight loss. What they noted was a lot of the studies that have been done are very small in scale, so not a lot of people were included in the study. That's one thing you have to look at. You can't just take a study for face value. You need to kind of analyze how good the study design was, right? So those are just some of the factors you have to think about with content of a study. There was different types of vinegars used in the study, which, again, with using different types of apple cider vinegar, there's going to be different content. There's going to be a different acidity amount to it. There's going to be different stuff within there, so you could get different results. There was different timing of consumption, and consumption of meals from what people consumed varied. So it's not like everyone was on the same diet. So they looked at fasting blood glucose, and they did observe in one study, although they said there was no significant favorable effect. So they did note that in one of the studies with observing fasting blood glucose, there was improvement seen, noted on the 2-hour postprandial glucose. So really, you also have to look at what time you're taking the glucose. Postprandial means 2 hours after eating a meal. They took their glucose, looked at their insulin concentration, and they found that there was significant improvement with the group that was consuming the vinegar. A separate study found that postprandial blood glucose levels were affected favorably when only vinegar was ingested at mealtime, along with a complex carbohydrate-containing meal. So they kind of looked at different aspects of it. They also looked at, in the same study, when vinegar was consumed with a monosaccharide, and it looks like they gave them just some type of dextrose beverage, some type of sugary beverage. Again, postprandial levels were considerably greater when compared to your placebo group. That's a lot of P's. So there is a little bit of evidence there showing there could be some benefits with improving glucose levels, but again, they do note in this paper that it's still, there's not enough research yet where they would definitely be recommending this for diabetics. There could be some interaction between taking too much apple cider vinegar if someone is taking insulin. So that would be something that I would caution against if you are someone who's on diabetic meds. Probably, I would definitely not just start taking it. I would talk with your doctor first if that's something you're considering. And then I also did see too that there could be some side effects with lowering your potassium levels if you're taking too much apple cider vinegar. So remember, with all these healthy claims, there can also be there could be some issues too. More is not always better with almost anything. So, if you have any medical conditions, talk to your doctor before taking something like this. What else did they say? They basically just said there's just still a lack of evidence to really say this is effective treatment to add into kind of the world of medicine at this point in time. But I think you would see a lot of more holistic doctors, and I think it's something I'll learn a bit more about with my integrative and functional nutrition certification. That it's one aspect that you could throw in there, assuming there are none of those other risk factors there, to see if it just kind of starts promoting some of those healthy side effects. Some of the other claims that I've heard, and I say claims because they're truly just claims, I've seen people say that it cures cancer. We don't know what cures cancer, folks. It's certainly, I feel confident saying it's certainly not apple cider vinegar. What else did I see? I've seen stuff saying it's good for your skin. I mean, I don't really know much about that in terms of it clearing up your skin per se. That's not really my field. I did see some good research that showed that it could help with binding of bad cholesterol and could actually help improve your cholesterol levels, which that kind of makes sense with pectin that's in apples that would be fermented and in this product. That would make sense to me that might actually work. So that could be something you could throw in if you're having, issues with your cholesterol. That could be one easy go-to. What else do people say? I know for me, and I couldn't actually find any research on this, but again, I didn't spend a week in the library researching. But for me, when I was taking it consistently, and some of you guys know I have severe environmental allergies, I felt like it really did help clear me out. In the morning when I would take it, I felt like it made my head feel more clear. I felt like it kind of helped, I would blow my nose really good in the morning, and then I could just breathe really good afterwards. And I think Jason has also kind of found the same thing since taking it. So again, that's just my own personal claim about the product, but I did find, for me, the two things that I liked was I felt like digestion felt better, I felt more regular, and I felt like I could breathe better. So those were some of the things that I noticed with it. Like I said, bottom line is, I think for most people this is a product you could throw in your diet, and it's not going to hurt anything for the most part. It's a low calorie. There's essentially no calories in this product. So it's not something bad to throw in. The other thing I wanted to mention too before I forget is I think a lot of people think if they take the drink and they just take a couple shots raw and just get it over with, that's going to have the best effects. And that's not necessarily true. It's not true at all, actually. It's false. If you just dilute it with some water, you're still going to get any of the same benefits. There's no validity to the fact that if you just take a shot versus diluting it with water, it's not going to change how you metabolize it and what good benefits there could be from it. So for me, if you're someone that doesn't want to just take a shot of it, because it is very acidic going down, you could get some issues with sore throat. It could possibly hurt the esophagus a little bit. It's not a bad idea to take it with some water. I actually preferred to dilute it with some water and heat it so it was warm, and add a little lemon juice to it and a little stevia, and it was kind of like a nice little morning spritzer to wake me up for the day. So that was one way I like taking it, but that's definitely a false claim. You don't have to just take it plain. And you also need to remember more is not better. Can't remember if I already said that, but drinking a whole bottle of it doesn't mean you're going to cure cancer and have, lose all this weight. So remember, there's still no little magic wand out there. These are all just little tips and tricks and things that we can throw into our diet that hopefully assist. Bottom line is you still need to have a diet that's on point, that you're fueling yourself properly, and you need to be moving throughout the day. You don't have to be a gym rat, but we need to be moving, we need to be exercising and doing all those other kinds of things. So if you're seeing any claims that apple cider vinegar is gonna cure all your medical issues and you're gonna lose all this weight because of it, that's absolutely false. Do your research first. But there could be some healthy things to go along with it. And one thing I like to tell people too, and I find it true for myself as well, sometimes when I start my day out with just kind of what I feel is doing a healthy little thing, like maybe starting your morning out with having some apple cider vinegar, or having a cup of tea or something like that. Sometimes just starting your day out a healthy way in that manner kind of sets your mindset for the day, sets your intentions, and you're a little more health focused throughout the day. So maybe it's placebo and that's all it does for you, and that's okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please share your thoughts below, because I know probably a bunch of you have tried apple cider vinegar. And I'm sure there's probably a bunch of health claims that I have missed with this product. So share those below in case you're interested. We can discuss in the comments as we always do. I enjoy talking with you guys, so stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one.